Let me ask you something personal. When did climbing the stairs start feeling like a workout? When did getting up from a chair become something you had to think about? If you're over 60 and your legs have been feeling weaker, heavier, or less reliable than they used to, I want you to know something important. This isn't simply an inevitable part of aging. Something specific may be happening inside your body, and once you understand it, you can take steps to improve it. Many people, even some healthcare providers, assume that leg weakness in older adults is just a normal part of getting older. But growing research suggests there may be a more specific and often more manageable explanation. For millions of seniors, the real issue may be silent nutritional deficiencies that gradually reduce muscle strength over time. This doesn't necessarily happen because you're eating poorly. After age 60, your body's ability to absorb, produce, and use certain essential nutrients naturally declines. As these nutrients become depleted, your muscles and nerves don't receive the support they need to recover efficiently overnight. Here's why this matters. While you sleep, your body performs much of its repair work. During the night, it repairs muscle fibers, supports healthy nerve function, and restores the systems responsible for balance and coordination. BUT, without the nutrients required for these processes, your body can't complete them effectively. As a result, you may wake up with legs that feel stiff, heavy, or slower to respond, not because your body is failing, but because it lacked the building blocks needed for recovery. In this video, we'll explore 3 important vitamins that research has linked to muscle strength, nerve health, and overnight recovery in adults over 60. You'll learn what each vitamin does, why deficiencies are so common, and how to use them for the greatest benefit. By the end, you'll have a simple plan you can begin using tonight. No complicated supplement routine, no trendy health hacks, just 3 well-researched nutrients used correctly. We'll count down from number 3 to the most important one, so stay with us until the end. The final vitamin is one that many people overlook, yet it could be the missing piece behind persistent leg weakness. Let's begin with vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is one of the most well-known vitamins, but few people realize just how important it is for healthy leg function. It isn't simply an energy vitamin, it's essential for keeping the communication between your brain and muscles working properly. Think of your legs as part of a communication network. Every step you take, every time you stand up, and every moment you maintain your balance depends on electrical signals traveling from your brain through your nerves to your muscles. These nerves are protected by a layer called the myelin sheath, and vitamin B12 plays a critical role in maintaining that protective coating. When B12 levels begin to fall, the myelin sheath can gradually weaken. As a result, nerve signals become slower and less efficient. This may lead to numbness in the feet, tingling in the calves, stiffness in the knees, or the feeling that your legs simply don't respond the way they used to. Many older adults assume these symptoms are caused by arthritis or poor circulation. Others are told they have early nerve damage without a clear explanation. In many cases, however, an undetected vitamin B12 deficiency may be contributing to these problems. Here's something many people don't know. After age 60, your stomach naturally produces less hydrochloric acid, which is needed to release vitamin B12 from food. That means even if you regularly eat eggs, fish, or meat, your body may not absorb enough B12 to meet its needs. As B12 levels continue to decline over time, nerve function may gradually worsen, and your legs may begin showing the effects long before you realize what's happening. Another important factor is timing. Your nervous system carries out much of its repair work while you sleep. During the night, it helps restore damaged nerve fibers and supports healthy communication between your brain and muscles. If your body doesn't have enough vitamin B12 available during this repair period, the recovery process may not be as effective. This is why taking B12 before bed is specifically advantageous for leg health. When you supplement with it 30 to 40 minutes before sleep, it enters your bloodstream right as your body is shifting into repair mode. And unlike stimulants, B12 does not disrupt sleep. In fact, many older adults report more restful, deeper sleep once their B12 levels stabilize, likely because the nervous system is no longer under the quiet strain of deficiency. The form you choose also makes a real difference. The most effective form for older adults is methylcobalamin, not cyanocobalamin, which is the cheaper version, and found in most standard multivitamins. Methylcobalamin is the form your body can use directly without needing to convert it first, which is important because that conversion process becomes less efficient with age. Even better, look for sublingual methylcobalamin, a small tablet that dissolves under your tongue. This method bypasses your digestive system entirely and delivers B12 directly into your bloodstream. If your stomach acid is already low, this route makes a substantial difference in how much your body actually absorbs. A starting dose of 1,000 micrograms daily is a good entry point for most seniors. Within 10 to 14 days of restoring B12 levels, clinical, most of us grew up knowing vitamin D as the sunshine vitamin, something to do with bones and calcium. And while that is not wrong, it dramatically undersells what vitamin D3 actually does for your muscles, and specifically for your legs as you age. After 60, vitamin D3 becomes one of the most powerful tools your body has for maintaining and rebuilding muscle, and the research supporting this is remarkably strong. Here is what is happening mechanically. Your muscle fibers, including those in your thighs, calves, and the muscles that surround your knees, contain special receptors that respond to vitamin D3. When D3 levels are adequate, these receptors activate processes that drive muscle protein synthesis. That is the biological term for the repair and rebuilding of muscle fibers that have been used, stressed, or damaged during daily activity. When D3 levels are low, this process slows significantly. Your muscles do not repair as completely between uses. The micro damage from walking, climbing stairs, or simply moving through your day accumulates faster than your body can clear it. The result is what many seniors describe as persistent soreness, heaviness in the legs, or kind of baseline fatigue in the lower body that never quite goes away no matter how much they rest. This is the early stage of a process called sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and function. It tends to affect the legs first because the legs carry the most load. And sarcopenia, left unchecked, leads not just to weakness, but to increased fall risk, reduced mobility, and a gradual contraction of the activities a person can comfortably do. But sarcopenia is not purely inevitable. Research is increasingly clear that it is accelerated by vitamin D3 deficiency, and that correcting that deficiency can meaningfully slow or even partially reverse the process. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism followed seniors with low D3 levels who began supplementing consistently. After 3 months, participants showed a 19% increase in measurable leg strength and experienced 34% fewer falls compared to those who did not supplement. These are not small margins. These are the kind of differences that change whether a person can live independently or needs assistance. There is another layer to vitamin D3's role in leg health that often gets overlooked: inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation inside muscle tissue is extraordinarily common in older adults, and it is one of the silent drivers of that persistent aching, tightness, and nighttime cramping that so many seniors experience. Vitamin D3 plays a direct role in regulating inflammatory pathways inside muscle. It helps quiet that background inflammation that keeps muscles from recovering properly between uses. Research published in Frontiers in Aging found that seniors with D3 deficiency had double the rate of nighttime leg pain and significantly reduced muscle repair compared to those with healthy D3 levels, and that those who supplemented before sleep saw measurable improvements in walking speed and balance within 6 weeks. The reason timing matters here, specifically taking D3 before bed, is tied to growth hormone. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, which coordinates muscle repair and protein synthesis. The muscle receptors that respond to D3 are most active during this same window. Taking D3 in the evening, right before sleep, means it is circulating in your system at exactly the moment your body is primed to use it for overnight muscle rebuilding. A critical point for anyone relying on sunlight. After age 60, your skin produces approximately 75% less vitamin D3 from sun exposure than it did when you were younger. The enzymes responsible for converting sunlight to D3 become far less efficient. Going outside every day is wonderful for many reasons, but it will not reliably maintain adequate D3 levels after 60 without supplementation. For most older adults, 2,000 to 4,000 IU of vitamin D3 per night is the typical range, though the right dose for you personally should be guided by a blood test. Always choose D3, cholecalciferol, rather than D2, which is far less effective at raising and maintaining blood levels. Because D3 is fat-soluble, take it with a small amount of healthy fat. A few almonds, a spoonful of almond, butter, or a small piece of avocado work well. Avoid taking it with a heavy meal right before bed, as active digestion can interfere with both sleep quality and absorption. A light, fat-containing snack 20 to 30 minutes before bed is the sweet spot. And now we come to the most powerful vitamin of all, one that most seniors have genuinely never considered, and one that may explain why your legs have struggled to recover even when you thought you were doing everything right. Vitamin K2, not vitamin K1, which is the form found abundantly in leafy greens like kale and spinach, and which is primarily involved in blood clotting. Vitamin K2 is a different compound entirely, found almost exclusively in fermented and animal-based foods, and it operates in your body in ways that are only now beginning to receive the scientific attention they deserve. For leg strength specifically, the evidence around K2 is genuinely remarkable. To understand what K2 does, you have to understand what happens to calcium in the body of someone who is deficient in it. Most of us know that calcium is essential for bone strength. What fewer people realize is that calcium does not simply go where it is needed on its own. It requires a kind of biological traffic director, a protein that activates and guides calcium into bone tissue where it belongs and keeps it out of soft tissues, joints, and blood vessel walls, where it causes serious problems. Vitamin K2 activates the proteins that perform this exact function. When K2 levels are low, calcium becomes misdirected. Instead of reinforcing bone density, it begins accumulating in places it should not be. Arterial walls, cartilage, tendons, and the connective tissue around your joints. This is not a minor inconvenience. Misdirected calcium stiffens blood vessels, reduces circulation, causes joints to ache and crack, and contributes to the kind of deep leg stiffness that many seniors describe as feeling like their legs are filled with concrete. Meanwhile, their bones are not getting the calcium support they need, leaving both the muscles and the skeleton weaker than they should be. The calcium is present. It is simply going to all the wrong places. Correcting K2 levels redirects this calcium flow. The results can be dramatic. In a 2021 study published in the journal Nutrients, older adults who supplemented with K2 daily showed a 21% increase in quadriceps strength, that is the large muscle group at the front of your thigh, and a 31% improvement in standing balance after just 8 weeks. Those are significant, measurable functional improvements, not small statistical blips, real, meaningful changes in the way people move through their lives. K2's role extends even further. It activates a protein called osteocalcin, which does double duty in your body. It supports bone formation while simultaneously improving how your muscle cells metabolize glucose. This matters enormously for older adults, especially those dealing with blood sugar concerns, insulin resistance, or poor circulation in the legs. When muscles metabolize glucose more efficiently, they have more fuel available for contraction and recovery. Research from clinical trials, published in the journal Aging and Disease, showed that seniors taking K2 had improved blood sugar regulation and demonstrated stronger leg endurance during walking assessments. Taken before bed, K2 also supported overnight replenishment of muscle glycogen, essentially restocking the energy your leg muscles need for the next day, which translated to less morning stiffness and less fatigue during daytime activity. The reason most people have never heard of K2 is simple. It is genuinely rare in the modern Western diet. The richest dietary sources are fermented foods, particularly natto, a Japanese fermented soybean dish, along with aged hard cheeses and certain animal organs. Unless you are regularly eating these specific foods, it is nearly impossible to get adequate K2 from diet alone. Most standard multivitamins include only trace amounts, if any. The form to look for when supplementing is MK7, also called menaquinone 7. This is the most bioavailable form of K2, and critically, it has a long half-life in the body, meaning it stays active in your system for many hours rather than being cleared quickly. This makes it especially well suited to nighttime supplementation, where you want sustained activity throughout your sleep cycle as your bones and muscles do their repair work. A dose of 100 to 200 micrograms of MK7 is the range most research has used, taken in the evening alongside vitamin D3, and that pairing is worth emphasizing. Vitamin D3 and K2 are not just two separate supplements that happen to be taken together, they are genuinely complementary in their mechanisms. D3 drives calcium absorption from your gut into your bloodstream, raising calcium levels. K2 then steps in and makes sure that calcium is directed toward your bones and muscles rather than your arteries and joints. If you take D3 without adequate K2, the calcium that D3 mobilizes can actually begin accumulating in soft tissue. Many older adults who take D3 and still experience worsening joint stiffness or arterial discomfort may be experiencing exactly this. They are missing the K2 that completes the picture. Together, these two vitamins form one of the most powerful natural pairings for bone density, muscle strength, and circulatory health available to older adults. Now, let's bring this all together into something you can actually start using tonight, because information alone does not build stronger legs. Consistent, well-timed action does. Here is how to build a simple, effective nighttime supplement routine with these three vitamins. About 30 to 40 minutes before you go to sleep, place a sublingual methylcobalamin B12 tablet, 1,000 micrograms, under your tongue and let it dissolve completely. Do not swallow it. The whole point is to let it absorb directly through the tissues under your tongue and enter your bloodstream without passing through your digestive system. If possible, do this on an empty stomach, or at least 2 hours after your last meal, to ensure there is nothing competing with absorption. At the same time, or within the same 30-minute window, take your vitamin D3 and your K2 together. Choose a D3 soft gel, they absorb better than tablets, at a dose of at least 2,000 IU, and pair it with 100 to 200 micrograms of MK7 form K2. Have a small fat-containing snack alongside them, a small handful of walnuts, a spoonful of natural nut butter, or a few olives. The fat is not optional for these two. It genuinely improves how much D3 your body absorbs because D3 is fat-soluble. Keep your supplements somewhere visible and automatic, next to your toothbrush, on your bedside table, wherever your nighttime routine already takes you. The biggest enemy of supplement effectiveness is inconsistency. These nutrients work by gradually restoring levels that have been depleted, often over months or years. They will not produce miraculous results in 48 hours, but with consistent nightly use, you should begin noticing changes within the first 2 to 3 weeks. Less nighttime cramping, better morning mobility, stronger footing when you stand, and improved steadiness as you walk. Beyond the supplements themselves, 3 supporting habits will significantly amplify what these vitamins can do for your legs. The first is intentional hydration throughout the day. Dehydration is one of the most underestimated causes of leg weakness and muscle fatigue in older adults. When you are mildly dehydrated, which can happen without any feeling of thirst, blood becomes thicker, circulation slows, and your muscles lose their ability to absorb nutrients effectively. Even the best vitamin routine becomes less effective when the body lacks adequate fluid to transport those nutrients to muscle tissue. Aim to drink a glass of water roughly every 90 minutes while you are awake, and stop drinking about an hour before bed to protect your sleep. Adding a slice of lemon or a few cucumber slices makes it easier if plain water becomes repetitive. The second habit involves the timing and content of your evening meal. What you eat for dinner and when you eat it directly influences how much recovery work your body can accomplish during sleep. A heavy meal, high in refined carbohydrates or sugar consumed close to bedtime, shifts your body's overnight priority toward digestion and blood sugar management, away from muscle repair. Research in clinical nutrition found that older adults who ate high glycemic dinners after 7 p.m. had twice the rate of nighttime muscle stiffness and significantly lower nutrient absorption during sleep. A lighter dinner, featuring protein and vegetables, eaten at least 2 hours before bed, gives your body the clear signal it needs to shift into repair mode as you sleep. The third habit is gentle pre-sleep leg movement. Not exercise, just 5 minutes of simple movement to activate circulation in your legs before you lie down. Seated leg extensions, slow ankle circles, or standing. Heel raises against a wall are enough. These micro movements increase blood flow to your leg muscles at exactly the time when your vitamins are entering your bloodstream, effectively helping to deliver those nutrients more efficiently to the tissue that needs them most. A study in geriatric rehabilitation found that just 5 minutes of this kind of light pre-bed movement increased overnight blood flow to leg muscles by 22% and led to measurable improvements in cramping, stiffness, and balance within 10 days. It costs nothing, requires no equipment, and takes less time than a commercial break. When you combine these 3 habits with your nightly B12, D3, and K2 routine, you are not just taking supplements. You are creating an entire environment in which your body can finally do the rebuilding it has been trying to do all along. The vitamins provide the raw materials, the hydration keeps the delivery system running, the lighter evening meal clears the way for repair, and the gentle movement opens the door for those nutrients to reach the muscles that need them. Your legs have carried you through everything, every flight of stairs, every walk in the park, every moment of standing up for the people and the life you love. They deserve the support that science now clearly shows can restore their strength. Not permanently, not magically, but consistently and genuinely. Vitamin B12 rebuilds the nerve pathways that let your brain and legs communicate with clarity and speed. Vitamin D3 reactivates the muscle receptors that drive overnight repair and guards against the quiet inflammation that makes legs ache and slow. And vitamin K2, the one most people have never tried, directs calcium where it belongs, activates genes responsible for muscle recovery, and fuels the deeper systems that have been running on empty. Together, taken at night in the right forms and the right doses, these 3 vitamins give your body what it has been missing, and your legs the real chance to rebuild. Start tonight. Place that B12 tablet under your tongue. Take your D3 and K2 with a small snack. Do 5 minutes of ankle circles before you lie down. Drink water steadily through tomorrow. Keep your dinner light. And then give it 2 weeks of consistency before you judge the results. Because change does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it shows up quietly. In the morning when you stand up faster than you expected, in the afternoon when you climb stairs without thinking twice, or in the evening when you realized your legs did not ache at all today. That is what this is about, not just stronger legs, but the confidence, the freedom, and the independence that come with them.